All right, we are back on the Andre Duke Show. Got Richie joining me this evening. How is everybody doing? Only a couple more sleeps until the college football playoffs kick
Oh
back off.
boy. Can't believe it's already back, man. Like what a year 20 how fast 2025 went. Last year we were getting ready for the first 12-team playoff. Now we're back at it.
Yeah. It's just a wild turn of events here. I guess we'll start transfer portal. Cam Coleman going to be at the top of everybody's list. Would you say that's fair, Rich?
I would say that's fair.
He's in there. North Texas's quarterback, basically all their um their top talent has hit the transfer portal. I don't know. Where do you think their quarterback ends up?
Who's quarterback?
North Texas.
North Texas.
Oklahoma State, maybe?
BYU.
I don't know. I think Kalani Sitake's pretty happy with what is going on at BYU, to be honest.
He could Oklahoma State, yeah.
I mean, it just depends on if they can get some T-Boone picking money while he's passed away. But the people that are in charge of that, and then Caleb Hawkins, the freshman running back from North Texas. Texas, I don't know what's going on with their running back room. They had 4 guys hit the portal, so maybe it was a mutual thing that Sark said, see ya, and we are going to hit the
there needs to be like a transfer portal tracker to see who's in, who's out, who's getting signed, like the NFL free, like they do on NFL.com with free agents getting signed.
Yeah, and then Wyatt Young, one of the nation's most productive receivers, had over 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, ranks among one of the highest wideouts in the portal. I would assume they're a lot of the North Texas guys. That's the big thing now. When it comes to the portal, if your coach leaves, a lot of times they're just going to follow the coach to the next spot. And then Penn State also on the other end of it. Turbo Richardson out of Boston College is also in the portal. He's another running back. Trey McDonald, he was a contributor at Virginia, linebacker in the portal. I would say he's probably going to end up at an SEC school that needs help. And then Penn State's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys hit the portal. Majority of them linebacker, defensive end, D tackle, another linebacker, DB, O-line, D lineman, and a cornerback. Just sounds like Matt Campbell's making some decisions. I don't know. I think that's going to be a bigger building project than what people want to admit or want to talk about, to be 100% honest, when it comes to Penn State.
Byron Brown, did you know that Byron Brown from USF hit the portal too?
Yep. I believe they've already.
Saw that. I thought he might have declared for the draft. I saw something on Twitter. I didn't really read it, but I'm just now looking at this, and I was like, "Holy Nikes! He's bouncing Tampa."
Yeah, because when it comes to the quarterbacks, I got them in a block as well. Byron Brown, Rocco Becht, Dylan Raiola, DJ Lagway, and Sam from Arizona State are all in the portal as well. Just, I don't know, wild times.
Yeah, it's college football free agency.
Yeah, I didn't think we
Well,
could.
I mean, that's just a nicer way to say it. The portal.
Yeah, I mean, it. I mean, they're calling it what it is, and it is what it is at this point. There's no real way to dive on into it, but it depends upon your outlook on it. I think the portal, the immediate eligibility is what is kind of ruining it. There's how do I want to say this? There's got to be some give and take to it, but I think not having the spring portal window will figure some of the headaches out. It'll
Right.
be interested to see what Rayola and Blagway command in the portal. I've heard anywhere from $500,000 to $4 million. But I mean, Carson Beck got reportedly $4 million, but whatever. That's the way I look at it. I've heard of what he's got, and then Pete Thamel puts out some of the injury stuff. Evan Stewart remains out. Trey McNutt is questionable for Oregon. K'Wan Lacey is probable for Ole Miss, which that's a big deal. Drew Bobo remains out. The Cooper kid from Indiana, I guess, he's not listed on anything, so I guess he's going to be a full go. There's that. Georgia's got a ton of folks out. Thamel's only really posted Gabe Harris Jr., and then they got a couple of DBs and Drew Bobo. Colby Young is listed as probable. Some people probably recognize that name. So, but there is that. That's pretty much what the injury reports are looking like. But it is college football, so we really do never know. As this evening kicks off, we're looking at the final Monday night game, and I got a ton of college hoops on as well. We'll miss down early to the 1-10 Alcorn State. Looking rough for the Rebels right now, but there is that. I guess we could dive in off the top. Rich. So we got an interesting record that I wanted to pull up here. It's Saban versus the all-time AP number ones. What do you think his record is against him facing off against number one ranked teams?
How long was he coaching?
Saban faced off against number one ranked teams 13 times.
I'd say 10-3.
Close, Rich. Saban was 9-4.
9-4. Okay.
Yep, he was 9-4 with his only losses coming to. He had one of them at Michigan State. He lost 14-55 to Nebraska in '96. So nobody beat that '96 Nebraska team, huh?
No, they were a good team. Crouch and
no, that was Tommy Frazier.
Or Tommy Frazier and Lawrence Phillips.
Yeah. The next time he played actually two number ones. He was 1-1 when he was in the Big Ten. Both at Michigan State. He beat Ohio State in '98.
28-24.
Yep. And then squared off with Florida. And the two times at Michigan State, he was unranked. But his other wins were 2009 Florida when he was at Alabama. Everything else is at Alabama. The next loss came against LSU 6-9 in the Battle of the Century, the national championship rematch. And then
Yep.
that's funny. In 2011, he played him back to back, and he wins the second matchup 21-0. And then, obviously the curb stomping that was Notre Dame. He beat Mississippi State, beat Clemson both times when they were number one. And his last and final game in 2023, he lost an AP ranked number one team in Michigan.
Yep.
But he went 1-2, lost one, 1-2, lost one. But from 2011 to 2017, every time he faced off against the number one team, he won. So goes 2-2 against number one. And then that's I thought that was interesting. And then also on some of the other things, some of the recruiting stuff came out after the after National Signing Day. The SEC ends up with 13 5-stars as a conference as a total, the Big Ten 11. Now, here's what's fascinating. The Big 12 ends up with 3, the ACC 1. How many does Notre Dame have?
Zero?
Nope, Notre Dame's got 4. Notre Dame has as many 5-stars as the ACC. In Big 12 combined. And then even though we're not an NFL show, we do some NFL stuff. But I was going to ask you, what did you think about Charles Barkley's comments about Christmas Day? Do you want me to go ahead and read the quote and see what?
Yeah, read the quote, because I didn't hear what he said.
So Charles Barkley on the NFL's Christmas games, this was his quote. Charles Barkley, we used to have Christmas Day. This was on Christmas Day, but we used to have this day to ourselves. But, Roger Goodell and them pigs at the NFL always want to hog every day of the week now. They're coming to Tuesday. I'm telling you, they're gonna come to Tuesday.
That's gonna screw up my. No, if they do, I'll watch it, of course. But God, I hope not. It's the market's getting way too saturated with NFL.
TV ratings tell a different story, Rich.
I know. TV ratings bring in the dollars.
I'm not.
What were the ratings for the Christmas Day NFL games?
I don't think those are out yet, but the Saturday night games are crushing. When they start at 8:00 Saturday night for the NFL, I know we're a college football show, but they're crushing the ratings. On
I know
Saturday.
there's two games this coming Saturday.
Yep. So there is that, and then also somebody brings up a Peter Burns. This was Saturday Down South posted this. It says, will Texas A&M regret the Mike Elko extension? I think I'm going to take a hard line on this and say no. I think regardless of what they looked like in the college football playoff, he's in year 2 and was ranked in the top 5 for the majority of the year.
It's pretty good in year 2.
And I don't think that he's got – Marcel Reed didn't play great against Miami, and I think that was just a bizarre day to sum it up as college football as a whole. It just, that whole day was bizarre for A&M.
Yeah, I think it was just a bizarre day in general for the playoff.
Yeah,
A&M, they didn't play like they should have, like they have all year.
Yeah, I will agree to that. And I don't know, it seems like, who they reminded me? A&M down the stretch reminded me of Oregon of last year. They were ranked number 1 all year, and then when they got to the playoffs, they just spit the bit. I mean, they ran up against the buzzsaw and eventual national champions, Ohio State, but I just felt like the calendar and everything, the offensive coordinator leaving, going to Kansas State, Kellen Klein, that has to be a ton because you're essentially doing two jobs. You had multiple coaches throughout this playoff run doing two jobs. You had John Summerall doing double duty. You had Bob Chesney doing double duty. You had Kellen Klein doing double duty. Who else got jobs? That was a head coach in the playoff. I don't think anybody else, but you had two head coaches and a coordinator doing two jobs essentially in the playoff. So I can tell you, I don't think that is easy at all. I mean, it's a lot simpler to do it in the NFL. Also,
Right.
on the NFL note, the Detroit Lions eliminated, and the Bears are most likely going to win the NFC North. Ooh wee.
But talk about topsy turvy. Like, what does that tell you about about the Lions the last couple of years with Ben Johnson?
Right. And it's just, and the reason why I say that, this is JMU's starting offense. I'll just read the position, and this is the starters at these positions. So quarterback in the portal, running back in the portal, wide receiver graduated, wide receiver still on the team, wide receiver graduates. So out of their top three receivers, they're losing two. The backfield's gone. Tight end in the portal, left tackle in the portal, left guard still on the team as of now. Center graduated, right guard portal, right tackle graduated. So potentially JMU will completely clean out their entire starting offense from this year.
Wow.
So I don't know, Bill. I think Billy's going to win. I think Billy Napier's going to win big there, and he'll get another big job. It's just, I feel like we are in Bizarro world.
Yeah, I just do you think JMU's coach is going to be taking guys with him to UCLA?
Oh yeah. He's going to take guys with him. And see, that's the thing, as coming into to take over that job, you basically have to, I think, take the approach of looking at it as, well, I'm not going to be able to retain the majority of the roster, so there's kind of that. But also, they released some of the TV numbers for the first round. Alabama and Oklahoma narrowly beats Miami, Texas A&M. Oklahoma on the Friday night did a 14.9, and then A&M Miami did 14.8, which it was narrow. But that's Friday night opposed to Saturday at noon. And then Ole Miss, Tulane did a 6.2 million, and then JMU, Oregon did 4.4. So, but the last two games on Saturday went up against the NFL. So that's kind of where I'm looking.
To me, I think the committee made a big error in not, one, bringing in BYU, and two, Notre Dame. Put Notre Dame at Oregon. I'm telling you, that's going to blow.
It would have did a big number.
Roof. It would have been a big number. And BYU at Ole Miss.
Yeah, that would have done a big number. That would have been
big number too. So
clash of cultures there.
Yes. Yeah. So maybe the committee will learn from this on who they do need to put in next year in the playoffs.
We'll see if they figure it out, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say
hopefully by year 3 they do.
Yeah. So we'll see. Some other miscellaneous topics. Garrett Riley not returning to Clemson.
Golly shucks.
Is that a warning sign, or is it one of those things that
maybe it wasn't the right fit?
it wasn't the right fit, but you have to remember whenever he took the job, Dabo said he was going to run the Clemson offense. So I guess we'll see who emerges as the coordinator there.
Yeah.
So I think Garrett will end up somewhere. Maybe he'll end up at South Carolina. I don't know if they've named a OC yet or not, but I'm sure there's going to be somebody that will bring him on. Maybe he'll end up at Texas or not Texas A&M, but well, A&M maybe, or maybe he'll end up at Oklahoma State with Eric Morris. So, but I did see something that did catch my eye on some revenue numbers. Do you know Wisconsin made almost they made just a little over 3 million in beer sales.
It's a lot of beer.
It says units sold, 255,000 units sold, over 255,000. For some of the universities out there that aren't, I get it, some universities maintain, like Baylor, complain about budgets and not having money, but I get it. It's a religious thing, but I'm just saying that Nebraska made 2 million, Tennessee made 1.6, LSU 1.4, and I think that number's skewed just for the simple fact of it's skewed because LSU sucked down the stretch. So I would say that number could have been higher if they would have been more in tune to the playoffs. So it's just something that I think.
I just still can't believe the year LSU had. I mean, just getting curb stomped by Texas A&M at home, like that's one of the toughest places to play. And seeing that stadium empty.
Yeah. Having Death Valley empty is not a good look.
Not ideal.
And I wanted to throw this out there. Cody Campbell, the former Texas Tech player that's the money man at Tech, gave a quote onto fixing college sports. He says, "I'm a threat to the status quo, but the status quo is failing. A lot of people want to hold on to the way things used to be, but the fact is we've already crossed that point of no return." Would you agree to that?
Oh, completely agree with that.
And I think it's like, look, people are not thrilled that they had how do I want to say this? They're not thrilled that Texas Tech is out there buying players like the Yankees used to.
Yeah. Sooner or later, you got to put a cap on it.
So there's that. Also, real quick, we'll roll into the ticket prices. Some of the most expensive tickets on SeatGeek right now, Tech in Oregon are up to $2,400. Indiana, Alabama, $889. But you got to remember, Indiana, Alabama are in the toughest location to get to, which is out there at the Rose Bowl. But the most expensive ticket, because of the proximity to home, is Georgia Ole Miss, $3,200, and then Miami, Ohio State, $710. But you got to remember, Jerry World is a huge stadium. So those are some of the ticket prices. They're pretty much dwarfing everything from the first round, and I think ticket prices will go up regardless from that. And then also on a USC note, USC Lincoln Riley trying to blame Notre Dame about the rivalry getting canceled, whatever.
Bush League.
It's just, and then he just loses his defensive coordinator Today, DeAnthony Lynn is going with Matt Campbell to Penn State.
I did see that too.
So it's I don't know what's going on out there at USC, but I don't know how much longer they're going to take 9-3 and not making the playoff.
Yeah, I don't either.
And continue.
Yeah, I mean they wanted to get rid of Clay Helton so many years ago, and then they got, I forget who they have after him.
Well, they hired Lincoln, but you have to remember Clay Helton only got fired in like week 3. Remember that?
Yeah.
He got shellacked by Alabama and then dropped a Pac-12 game, and they said, we've had enough, and they fired him, I think, premature because the program kind of fell apart, and then that's right when the transfer portal was getting introduced, and then Caleb and Lincoln show up, and it's been kind of hit or miss, and then you also thrust them into the Big Ten Conference, and they're, half the games of the year, they're traveling cross-country, a major road trip when, back in the day, USC never came east hardly ever. Hardly ever.
The last time they came east was in 2009 against Ohio State at Ohio State.
Yeah. So
during the regular season.
Yeah, but you got to think. I think they had 2 game stretches where they went to Nebraska. That's not as far east as some, but you go to Minnesota and then you go to Michigan the following week. You're not. That's interesting to me, but. Anyway, also on the LSU front with Lane Kiffin, he's had, I believe, 6 offensive linemen hit the portal. I don't know what to make of that. Their offensive line wasn't very good from everything I've gathered. I've heard a lot of mixed emotions on that because, when Lane Kiffin was the coach at Ole Miss would never win anything because of Lane Kiffin. And now that Kiffin is the coach at LSU, he's going to win it all. He's going to win the Super Bowl. Funny how that narrative changes, huh? You get with the right agency, and it just all changes overnight.
Yeah. Yeah. Big expectations down Baton Rouge, but can he deliver? The first year, if it doesn't work out, I'd say in 2 or 3 years, it's pack your bags, Lane.
Here will be
Tiger's cooked.
Here's the interesting thing for me. Also, this is fascinating too. I get it, the Falcons aren't very good, but it's Monday Night Football. There is a lot of fans dressed as empty seats in Atlanta tonight. A lot of them. But I got a TV2's got a triple box, and then I got a triple box of basketball on as well. I got 2 angles on the Monday night game. But as I'm looking at it, who will be in Louisiana longer? Will Jeff Landry be the governor longer, or will Lane Kiffin be the head coach at LSU longer?
I think Jeff Landry, the governor, will be there longer.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. I don't know how much time he's going to get because 10-3 at LSU and 10-2 at LSU and not making the playoffs is, I'm telling you, they ain't going to put up with that because the difference is in expectation. He had the best roster he had a year ago at Ole Miss and didn't make the playoff, and it turned into, don't worry, Lane, we'll reload and we'll go out there and we'll do it again. At LSU,
give it the old college try.
And at LSU, if you're out there being funny on Twitter, they're going to be saying not nice things to you. It'll be if you watch how the Hugh Freeze tenure ended in Auburn when they were circling the boats on Hugh, how a whole bunch of stuff during the dead period just sprung up out of nowhere, even though Hugh had a really, really decent recruiting class the year before, had a decent portal class. If you watched the media narrative on Hugh Freeze just completely change 180 like it did, because all kinds of leaks started coming out of the program, and inevitably Hugh Freeze met his demise at Auburn. But I think it was helped along in the summertime. It was aggregated. Same thing will happen. Same thing will happen at LSU. You just watch, because it happened to Brian Kelly. It just happened quicker with Brian Kelly.
Oh yeah, just because who Brian Kelly was. But what if things go south fast? I'm talking fast, Duke.
I think
Season and a half.
I think he'll get one bad year. But the thing of it is that when it comes to Kiffin, even though I don't know him personally, Lane Kiffin wants to do what Lane Kiffin wants to do, and that's a fact. And for people that don't want to realize that, it's going to be a culture shock whenever Lane just kind of does whatever he does, and I don't think people are down there are going to. Maybe they'll accept it, maybe they won't, but anyway, we'll package up Lane Kiffin and we'll see what that is this time next year. Maybe he'll come out there and win big, who knows. There is Shannon Dawson made some comments today, the Miami offensive coordinator. And this was his quote. He says, Indiana won 13-10 and nobody says anything about that. We won 10-3 and the win sucks. I'm assuming that's in reference to the win at Texas A&M. So what are your thoughts on that? Because it wasn't an offensive explosion in the Big Ten championship game, and then the quote-unquote biggest game of the first round of the playoffs was supposed to be huge, and there was no offensive.
There's no fireworks, no excitement.
Fireworks.
It was a mainly defensive battle between Miami and Texas A&M.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
What do you got? What do you got, Duke?
Via Rivals, 5-star edge David Jacobs has committed to Ohio State.
Oh, wow.
I thought Larry Johnson couldn't recruit, but he just keeps on signing draft picks and 5 stars.
I thought that was the narrative down in Columbus too, that he just can't do it anymore.
And then the backup quarterback, Ryan Snob from Colorado, has entered the transfer portal as well. But yeah, and then it's fascinating. And then you have Garrett Riley not getting retained, and then Kyle Whittingham comes in and retains Tony Alford when the Tony Alford hater says he was going to get fired. But what does Tony do? He signs 5 stars. For some reason, couldn't do it at Ohio State, but goes to Michigan and does it. Okay. But, there's a whole backstory in there. We won't bore you with those details, but kind of interesting on how some of that recruiting stuff works. Oh, wow. In the NASCAR world, reported by KDKA, I got to verify this to make sure this is true. It's on KDKA. It says that Denny Hamlin's father, passed away in a house fire, and his mother severely injured. Wow, that's devastating news. Cannot believe that. That's what is being reported by KDKA in Pittsburgh. I just seen that on Twitter. Wow, I can't believe that. Oof. But I guess David DJ Jacobs, hopefully the Hamlin family can get through that. Wow. Also on the college football side of things, the Jacobs kid that just committed to Ohio State, I guess he was a heavy Miami lean, and Larry Johnson got it done. So
Where's the kid from?
Let me look. Let me see where he went to high school. He goes to Catholic school in Georgia, but I don't know if that is exactly where he's from.
Okay.
But so he is a class of 2027 as well. So there is that. Just kind of looking at some other stuff. Yeah, I gotta do some Google search on that. What do you think on that Shannon Dawson? Shannon Dawson tweet, or not tweet, but comment.
A little bitter.
Is it
a little
poking?
bitter?
Is it poking
Oh,
the bear?
It's poking the bear.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was antagonizing. Also, in other news, there are several media outlets reporting that. I did not know that. We'll get to where do we want to go from there? Yeah, I definitely think it's poking the bear. I don't know if I would want to shake that bear's cage. But in Notre Dame news, Marcus Freeman
staying or going, Duke?
Announced that let's run it back 2026. Very fascinating to say the least. I think. So,
do you think he didn't get a contract like he wanted from the Giants?
That's what it said in the initial report. I don't know exactly the true details of what the minutia was of the contract, but I have a shocking suspicion. I don't think we've heard the end of this yet. To be completely honest, because Black Monday hasn't happened yet in the NFL.
Not till next Monday.
So, with that kind of lingering out there, I don't know exactly how it's all going to shake out, but I think that I would keep an eye on the Freeman stuff. I'm just saying I would keep an eyeball on it because there's been plenty of coaches in the past that have said, Tommy Tuberville at Ole Miss, you're going to have to take me out in a pine box. And then like a month later takes the Auburn job. So you have that. Also, another topic du jour. Kyle Whittingham named Michigan head
coach.
So, any commentary you want to throw in on that?
I think it's a solid. I think a solid hire. Does he know the magnitude that is at the end of November? I'd say a little bit. Urban came out and said, it's a great hire for that team up north. But when it comes to that game, he's like, I'll be rooting for him every single game except for that, except for that one, really, essentially.
Right. So I kind of feel like that it was.
I think he's a good coach. I like him. I mean, he's always been a stand-up guy, class guy.
I don't think you're going to have to worry about the off the field stuff.
No, I think he'll run a clean program because you never really heard any of the Utah kids get in trouble. At least I didn't.
Well,
that I know of.
I think one of the things that's going to help him a ton being at Utah, it's going to be I think he'll have the resources to go out and get kids that he's always not been able to get. The big time 5 stars that, pretty much overlooked Utah for the most part. So I think that he'll have a shot at those kids, and I think that it'll be something that he'll be able to do going forward. And I just don't know. I'm not going to say he's not going to translate. I think it's going to be a completely reworking of the program. And I want to say, people, you got to give him some time on that.
Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day.
So that's kind of where I'm at on it. I think that giving him ample amount of time is going to be something to be said there. I think the Michigan fan base will be more patient than what they were with Rich Rod, with what they were with Brady Hoke. And I think it's going to be a good matchup. Ryan Day and Kyle Whittingham have faced off before, and Kyle Whittingham can recruit. He's tons of NFL guys. And I think that Utah, Morgan Scully, I think his name is, I think they're going to be in good hands there because, if he goes out there and has a 20-year run, Utah, for all intents and purposes, took a Mountain West program and pretty much put them on the map.
Correct.
Because you got to remember, Utah, they were in the Mountain West when Urban was there, and they're in the Big 12 now. So it's going to be it's something to say that they've had. Whittingham had that one bad year, but I just think they were ravaged by the portal and they just could not get.
They couldn't recoup.
No, and they couldn't get. How do I want to be correct on this? They couldn't get themselves where they wanted to be for the simple fact of it was not sustainable because they didn't have the resources. Now Whittingham takes over a program that has a ton of resources. So I guess that's kind of where that's at. Rich, do you got anything else before you hop off?
Nope. I don't think I have anything else. We're getting down to the wire here with football season, Duke.
Yeah. Only so many of them left. I'm already getting into college basketball mode. So there's that. And then also in the meantime here, we're going to attempt to open up the phone lines. And let me get all of that posted. But Rich, you coming back tomorrow or no?
That's TBD.
Okay, because what day are the playoff games?
Wednesday and Friday.
No, it's Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh shit, Thursday. Sorry, I'm thinking. It's the holidays, man.
No, I 100%
like all the days run together.
I hear you on that. Let me get this set up. But Rich, just let me know. I'll open the phone lines for a half hour, 15, 20 minutes, depending on call volume. We'll see what we run into and what the people, if the people out there want to call, because on, I think it was Saturday night, something had happened to the iPad and I just dropped calls. But outside of that, buddy, I guess I'll let you enjoy Monday Night Football and try to watch some college hoops if you can.
All right, Duke. Sounds good. I'll catch everybody maybe tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. I'll talk to you, Rich.
Talk to you later, Duke. See you.
Later. All right. That was Richie coming through on the drive-by. Also, the phone line is open. I got the number posted at the bottom. Number to call, 260-255-4069. If you want to call, get your call in now. We'll leave this open for a little bit. College football playoff games coming up. We got also tons of college hoops on. So there is that. Also, if you want to call and talk about anything you want to, we're all ears here. I'll leave it up for a little bit. Also, do us the biggest favor and hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us a ton. Also, and phone line is open, so the floor is yours as we watch. Got Monday Night Football, tons of college hoops on at the moment. So there is that. Got the iPad up and running. So if you want to call, jump on in. The water is fine. As we get more breaking news of what in the world is this? Ooh. Huh. I'll have to save that for later. But yeah, phone line is open. Number to call 260-255-4069 is the number to call. If you want to hop on in, we'll leave it open for a bit and keep it going. So there is that. I guess go over the schedule for what's coming up as far as what the watch party schedule is going to be. I guess I better get that in line. We did a little bit of the Houston LSU game as well. So there is that. Let me look here. So we'll roll. I got to get to it. The college football playoff schedule, just so everybody knows. I know New Year's Eve at 7:30, Ohio State, Miami kickoff. So that's etched in stone because that's the big game of the night. And then we'll come back with Oregon, Texas Tech at noon. Then we go to Alabama, Indiana, and then we have Ole Miss, Georgia to round out New Year's Day night in the Sugar Bowl. So that is that. That's what the streaming schedule is going to be. Throw it out there. We'll leave this open for a little bit longer, but throw it out there. Phone line is open. Number to call 260-255-4069. If you want to call in, you can. Nothing really too major going on at the moment, just a ton of college hoops, getting ready for the playoff games. I think maybe tomorrow we'll throw out the picks for the college football playoff games. I think that'll be something. There's also an assortment of bowl games on as well. So I guess that's kind of where we're at. But yeah. So just looking at some other stuff here. Get it back going, but yeah, I'll leave it open for 10 more minutes if you want to call. Go ahead and get it in. In the Monday Night Football game we got rolling, it is Falcons up 7, which I don't know. I would have thought the Rams would have been all over that. I'm surprised it's as close as it is. Also, on the recruiting side of it for 2027, Ohio State jumps out. I would assume they're pretty up there with the they got 2 5-star kids committed, Jameer Brown and David Jacobs. So that's kind of where that's at. But outside of that, since the phone lines are slow, we'll go ahead and just cut it there. Appreciate everybody. Hit that like and subscribe button. I know Mondays are normally pretty slow here on the podcast, and we'll check you guys later. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Phone lines are going to be open tomorrow as well, too. So we'll see you guys later. Have a good night, everybody.